the American Southwest, a land of vast deserts, rugged beauty, and dark secrets. In this unforgiving landscape, evil lurked in the shadows. Its name, David Parker Ray, a name whispered in hushed tones, a name synonymous with unspeakable acts. Ray was a monster hiding in plain sight, a master manipulator, a predator who turned his twisted fantasies into a living nightmare. His lair, a nondescript trailer, but inside lay a chamber of horrors, a place where innocence was shattered and hope seemed to die. This is the story of the Toy Box Killer. David Parker Ray, a seemingly ordinary man, but beneath the surface a storm raged, a maelstrom of depravity and sadism. His victims, mostly young women, were lured into his web of terror. Ray's methods were calculated, his cruelty meticulous. He documented his crimes, audio recordings, written accounts, chilling evidence of the suffering he inflicted. His toy box, a place of unimaginable torture, restraints, whips, surgical instruments, each item carefully chosen to inflict maximum pain, to break the body and spirit. This is their story, the story of the survivors who bravely faced their demons, and the story of those whose voices were silenced forever. David Parker Ray's early life was a breeding ground for darkness. Born in 1939, he endured a childhood marred by abuse and neglect. His father, an alcoholic and a tyrant, ruled the household with an iron fist. Young David, starved for affection, retreated into a world of fantasy. He devoured books on torture and sadism. His mind, already fragile, became a breeding ground for perverse thoughts. Adolescence brought no respite. Ray was a loner, an outcast. His peers shunned him, sensing the darkness that lurked beneath the surface. Humiliation and rejection fueled his rage. His fantasies grew darker, more violent. He began to experiment with cruelty, torturing animals with a chilling detachment. The line between fantasy and reality blurred. David Parker Ray was transforming into the monster he would become. As Ray entered adulthood, his dark desires intensified. He sought solace in drugs and alcohol, numbing the pain of his own existence. But the darkness remained, a constant companion. His relationships with women were fleeting and dysfunctional. He craved control, domination. Love and intimacy were foreign concepts, replaced by a need to inflict pain and suffering. Ray's criminal career began with petty theft and vandalism. But these acts were mere stepping stones. His appetite for cruelty demanded a more substantial outlet. He began to fantasize about abducting women, imprisoning them in a secret chamber where he could indulge his darkest desires. The toy box began to take shape in his twisted mind. In Section 3, The Descent into Darkness, Ray's fantasies soon morphed into terrifying realities. He meticulously planned his abductions, transforming his trailer into a torture chamber. He soundproofed the walls, installed restraints, and stocked it with instruments of pain. He called it his toy box, a place where his victims would be transformed from human beings into playthings, objects to satisfy his sadistic urges. Ray's first victims were women he knew casually, drifters, drug addicts, those he believed would not be missed. He lured them with promises of drugs or money, trapping them in his web of terror. The horrors that awaited them inside the toy box were beyond comprehension. Ray's reign of terror had begun, leaving an indelible stain on the American Southwest. In Section 1, A Glimmer in the Darkness, for years, the horrors of the toy box remained hidden. David Parker Ray operated with chilling efficiency, choosing victims he believed wouldn't be missed. His reign of terror seemed unstoppable. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. In the spring of 1999, a glimmer of hope emerged from the darkness. One of Ray's victims, a young woman named Cynthia Vigil, would become the key to his downfall. Cynthia had endured weeks of unimaginable torture inside the toy box. Ray had subjected her to unspeakable acts, breaking her body and spirit. But amidst the pain and terror, a spark of defiance flickered within her. She knew that escape seemed impossible. Ray had taken meticulous precautions, keeping her chained and drugged. Yet Cynthia clung to the belief that she could break free from his clutches. In Section 2, Escape from Hell on that fateful day, a stroke of luck presented itself. Ray, in a moment of carelessness, had left the key to Cynthia's restraints within her reach. With trembling hands, she seized her chance. Adrenaline coursing through her veins, she managed to unlock her shackles. The toy box, once her prison, now represented a labyrinth she had to navigate to survive. She burst out of the trailer, naked and terrified, into the blinding New Mexico sunlight. Every breath was a victory, every step taking her further away from the nightmare she had endured. Spotting a nearby house, she ran towards it, her screams piercing the quiet desert air. Her cries for help were answered by a kind stranger who immediately alerted the authorities. Section 3. The Mask Slips. The arrival of the police sent shockwaves through the quiet community of Elephant Butte. Rumors had circulated about David Parker Ray, but few could have imagined the depths of his depravity. Cynthia's escape blew the lid off Ray's carefully constructed world. Her chilling testimony painted a horrifying picture of the horrors that had unfolded inside the toy box. As the investigation unfolded, police discovered a treasure trove of evidence, audio recordings of Ray's voice filled with chilling threats and commands, journals detailing his twisted fantasies, and the toy box itself, a macabre testament to his crimes. The evidence was overwhelming, painting a picture of a man consumed by darkness, a predator who found pleasure in inflicting unimaginable suffering. Section 4, The Net Titans. With Ray behind bars, the focus shifted to uncovering the full extent of his crimes. Investigators worked tirelessly, interviewing potential witnesses and following up on every lead. They soon discovered that Cynthia Vigil was not Ray's only victim. Other women came forward, their stories echoing Cynthia's harrowing experience. The true scope of Ray's reign of terror began to emerge. The investigation also revealed that Ray had not acted alone. His girlfriend, Cindy Hendy, had played a chilling role in his crimes, luring victims and participating in the torture. As the net tightened, Ray's facade of normalcy crumbled. The world watched in horror as the details of his crimes unfolded, revealing the true face of a monster. Section 1. The Unveiling of the Toy Box. The air hung heavy with the stench of fear and suffering as investigators first stepped inside David Parker Ray's trailer. What they found would forever be etched in their memories. The toy box was smaller than they had imagined, a cramped, claustrophobic space that reeked of evil. The walls, hastily soundproofed, were adorned with crude drawings and chilling slogans, a testament to Ray's warped psyche. Every inch of the space had a purpose, designed to inflict maximum pain and humiliation. Chains hung from the ceiling, their cold metal glinting under the harsh glare of the investigators' flashlights. A gynecological chair, bolted to the floor, stood as a chilling symbol of Ray's depravity. The room was a nightmare made flesh, a testament to the depths of human cruelty. It was a place where hope went to die, a place where the screams of Ray's victims were swallowed by the silence of the desert. As investigators delved deeper into the toy box, they uncovered a treasure trove of evidence that revealed the true extent of Ray's sadism. Audio recordings captured his chilling voice, taunting and degrading his victims, his words dripping with a perverse pleasure. Written journals, meticulously kept, detailed his twisted fantasies and provided a chilling glimpse into his psyche. He wrote of his desire to control, to dominate, to break the will of his victims and transform them into his mindless slaves. Scattered throughout the trailer were photographs and videos documenting his crimes in graphic detail. The images were difficult to comprehend, each frame a testament to the horrors that had unfolded within those walls. The evidence painted a portrait of a man consumed by darkness, a man who derived pleasure from the suffering of others. It was a chilling reminder that monsters often lurk beneath the surface of normalcy, their true nature hidden from the world. Despite the overwhelming evidence against David Parker Ray, bringing him to justice proved to be a daunting task. Many of his victims, traumatized and fearful, were hesitant to come forward. Their silence was a testament to the power Ray held over them, even from behind bars. He had threatened them, intimidated them, and instilled in them a deep-seated fear of retribution. Adding to the complexity of the case was Ray's cunning and manipulative nature. He attempted to deflect blame, claiming his victims were willing participants in his twisted games. He portrayed himself as a victim of circumstance, a man caught in the throes of his own demons. His attempts to manipulate the legal system were met with a mixture of disgust and disbelief. The evidence against him was overwhelming, his crimes too heinous to ignore, yet the road to justice would be long and arduous. David Parker Ray never faced trial for the full extent of his crimes. Plea bargains were struck, charges dropped, and the system struggled to hold him accountable. He was sentenced to 224 years in prison. For his victims, the scars ran deep, their lives forever altered. The case sent shockwaves throughout the country. Their courage ensured his reign of terror would never be forgotten. The horrors inflicted within the toy box left an indelible mark on the lives of David Parker Ray's victims. Their physical wounds may have healed, but the psychological scars ran deep, a constant reminder of the darkness they had endured. Many struggled with post-traumatic stress disorder, haunted by nightmares and flashbacks. The world, once a place of familiarity and safety, now seemed fraught with danger, every stranger a potential threat. Trust, once easily given, became a precious commodity, carefully guarded and rarely bestowed. Relationships, both romantic and platonic, were strained, the weight of their experiences creating an invisible barrier between them and the outside world. The simple act of living, of navigating the mundane routines of daily life, became a Herculean task. The joy had been stolen from their lives, replaced by a constant undercurrent of fear, anxiety, and a profound sense of loss. The impact of Ray's crimes extended far beyond the victims, sending ripples of pain through their families. Those closest to the survivors grappled with anger, guilt, and helplessness. They witnessed the devastating toll of trauma, transforming loved ones into strangers. Struggling to find the right words, they offered comfort in the face of suffering. They bore witness as loved ones battled invisible demons, silent screams echoing through their lives. The case of the Toy Box Killer sent shockwaves through the quiet community of Elephant Butte, New Mexico. The revelation shattered their sense of security, leaving them grappling with unease. Neighbors, once friendly, now eyed each other with suspicion. The idyllic facade of small-town life was stripped away, revealing a darker underbelly. Parents questioned the safety of their children, even at home. The toy box killer became a chilling reminder of lurking evil. David Parker Ray, the toy box killer, died in prison in 2002. Justice, some would argue, was served, but the shadow of his crimes continues to loom large. His case stands as a chilling reminder of human depravity. Monsters rarely wear masks. Ray's legacy extends beyond immediate horrors. His case forced law enforcement to confront serial predators. Survivors are a testament to the enduring power of hope.